Rebonjour. Rebonjour, désolé pour l'interruption à l'instant. Il y a eu un petit crash sur mon PC évidemment. Euh, comment expliquer ça? Epic Games, Epic Game Store, ne voulait pas s'allumer. J'ai voulu forcer un petit peu et mon PC l'a fait ouf, non. Du coup j'ai arrêté, le PC, j'ai arrêté marrer hein. Pas eu le choix. Soit j'ai essayé de forcer quelque chose, soit on joue à pas le voir toute l'après-midi quoi. J'avais pas envie que je joue à pas le voir toute l'après-midi. Donc bon, c'est pas grave. On va partir du coup, on retourne directement sur Outer World. On traîne pas. Juste deux petites choses à vérifier. Ouais. Ah ouais, ça a duré 5 minutes le temps que mon PC... Ok, ouais, super. Nickel. Bon, j'ai supprimé la VO de 5 minutes, ça sert à rien, il n'y a que de la musique et c'est de la merde. Ouais, bon, on y va, hein. C'est parti. Allez, go. Il n'y a pas de musique. Là, c'est mieux, là. Alors, les points de compétence. Faut mettre quoi là-dedans, là? Compétence... C'était médecine ou science? Je me rappelle plus, je me rappelle plus. Modèle suspendu, technologie propriétaire de Spacer Choice. Chez Rizzo, c'est abusé quand même. Ouais, du coup, ouais. Alors, par contre, j'ai tout mis en science maintenant, putain. Comment je vais faire? Bah, c'est simple, hein. Ah ouais, il n'y a pas le choix, là.
Dead center. Next round's on you.
Captain's coming. Put your gun away. Act casual.
Oh,
Alors. Je veux refaire un build. On va faire ça. Et 5 en plus. Donc je peux m'arrêter là. Putain. Ok, c'est pas mal comme ça. Et ensuite, il faut optimiser. On va mettre comme ça. C'est déjà bien. Là, par contre, discrétion, je vais mettre 60. Hmm.
Yes, this'll about do. Trying to infect me with this sauce? Here we go.
Ok. Maintenant que j'ai tout ça. Persuasion 105. Médecine 80. Remonter à 100. Non. Ok. C'est pas mal.
Greeting protocols suspended. All non-essential protocols suspended. Phaeton is standing by for larval compound dispersal. Reactor stable. Compound dispersal may commence. Affirmative. Dispersing. message from Rizzo's distillation station.
What have you done? What in law's name have you done? You hijacked our atmosphere. Are you trying to kill us all? No. You're trying to kill my symbiotes. I'm not going to let you destroy everything I've built. I can still fix this. I can undo the damage you've done.
End of transmission. All systems are functional.
Barricadé, si c'est barricadé, je peux forcément l'ouvrir quelque part. Il y a forcément un point d'entrée quelque part.
Did I hear? You? God, no one bring me down.
Elle est pas ouf en fait l'arme, hein.
Incoming!
Oh yeah, that's gonna let no one bring me down. Never anger a man of the cloth.
Wow, great work!
Euh...
Wow, you got that? Okay, going quiet.
Eh ben nickel.
Wonder what they were storing down here. Were they getting ready for the launch of Spectrum Brown?
It's as I suspected. The facade is simply hiding the rot within. Must they always be so predictable? I just wanted to make you smile! No! I just want to be your friend! Incoming! Here they come! I fear those parasites aren't being raised as part of the Spectrum Brown manufacturing process. Well done. We are victorious. Who would like to die? Nice one, Captain! They were destined to die!
What could that have been? Not gonna let no one bring me down. I'll show you happiness. I just wanted to make you smile. It burns!
L'accro bien calme.
Incoming! Nice hit!
Trying to knock me down at me.
Here goes nothing.
Sometimes violence is the only way!
Somebody's coming!
I've had quite enough of you!
Gosh, that's clever.
After everything we've seen, I can't imagine what we're going to find in there.
Yes, I know you're hungry. Be patient. I'll feed you soon enough. Just a guest. The one I told you about. The inspector. Welcome. We were just talking about you. You and I are standing in the presence of royalty. Don't worry, you'll meet her soon enough. I know what you've done. Hijacked Phaeton, contaminated the air we breathe with your poison. You think you've saved this colony? All you've done is robbed Halcyon of its last chance at real happiness. And you've angered my queen. The queen of symbiotes, a creature of endless compassion and unfathomable intelligence. The next sovereign of Halcyon. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to feed you to the queen, and then I'm going to find a way to repair the damage you've done. Don't be afraid. She can smell fear, and it makes her absolutely ravenous. Your Highness, dinner is served. Wait, no, not me. Damn! Merciful law! Stop!
Mr. Ludovico? Mr. Ludovico, sir? Is there any chance you're still Wait! No! That's his leg on the ground over there. Okay, well, Assistant Harwell, confectioner and munitions department. Oh, absolutely! Rizzo's manually operate. I've stocked the repository right beside your terminal. Thank you for choosing.
Here they come. Great work.
Get out! Incoming!
Get out!
Here I go!
Sure.
On my way!
Here's a little trick I learned in prison. Incoming.
Watch out!
I'll take your confession now.
You made it. I guess happy customers really are repeat customers. Here, this is a golden ticket. Good for one free tour of the Purpleberry Orchards. This is my way of showing you that I appreciate... Well, no, I suppose I appreciate you for all types of reasons. For...
Incoming!
Here they come. Show them how it's done.
Never felt so damn good in my life! Just want to know you happiness! I'll see you there!
I smite you in the name of the law. That's the last of it.
Hope you've been enjoying your stay.
I must have dreamed up 100 different ways to kill Ludovico. I'll be honest, eaten alive by the queen of the brain slugs wasn't on that list. Is that so strange? I imagine this moment would be a little more cathartic. But Belinda's still gone, and I don't feel all that different. I know. You're right. I can't go back to the way things were. I can't return to my old life because it was never my life to begin with. It was shared. Never mind, you don't need to listen to this. Thank you again for your help, Captain. I never would have made it this far without you. You're right. She wouldn't. She was always braver than me, you know. I was always the defeatist. Gave up too easily, and she never let me forget it. And now, without Belinda, I think I have to give up on being Halcyon Helen. She wouldn't be pleased to hear me say that, but I don't have much of a choice. You're right. I'm despairing. That's not worthy of me. It's not worthy of my sister. Thank you, Captain. I needed to hear that. If you don't mind, I'd like to be alone with my thoughts for a while. Keep the gun. It's just going to feel heavy in my hand.
It all worked out in the end, wouldn't you say, Inspector? It all worked out in the end, wouldn't you say, Inspector?
Sam, my vacuum tubes require evacuating. No, not those. The ones in port. Yes, there. Thank you. And while you're at it, could you switch my bike? Welcome back, Captain. Or shall I call you Inspector? What can I do for you? During your absence, I passed the time by simulating a number of hypothetical conclusions to this case. Unfortunately, my understanding of the facts is limited, and my appraisal of the individuals involved is not flattering. Therefore, my conclusions are inaccurate. My simulations have yielded several possible causes of death. Halcyon Helen may have been killed by one or all of the following.
Intéressant ça.
Asphyxiating on Rizzo's Spectrum Brown, grappling with a primal while inebriated, killed by an overzealous fan, death by automechanical, or profound loneliness. How close were my estimations? Please, do so. Administrator Ludovico killed Halcyon Helen? I have been programmed to simulate contempt and mild surprise. Mr. Ludovico had the audacity to hire you to solve a murder he committed? I am contemptuous and mildly surprised. This information is valuable to me. I will update my behavior simulation protocol accordingly. Thank you, Captain. How can I be of assistance? Take care.
On va faire une sauvegarde avant. Et on peut y aller.
I am pleased to inform you that we have arrived at the labyrinth. Please be advised that the punishment for trespassing is execution. Please be advised that electrical storms on the surface of Tartarus make departure impossible. Resident count is as follows: 3,071. Resident deaths, including but not limited to executions, are as follows: 1,684. Resident escapes are as follows. The interior can be chilly. Take a scarf with you. I would also ask that you leave your captain's ID with me, in the event that you do not return. Understood. If you die or are incarcerated for life, I can generate a new ID for the next captain. I would prefer... Oh, speak of the devil. Captain, I am receiving a transmission from the prison's docking authority now.
Attention, unauthorized spacecraft. This is a maximum security installation. Your presence here is an explicit violation of UDL corporate policy. You are hereby confined to your docking platform until a ticket detailing your crimes has been filed and notarized, at which point your vessel will be seized and you will be executed. Your ship is not permitted to leave until you remit payment for your fines and submit yourself to execution. Only after your smoking corpse is thrown from an airlock will we lift the lockdown on your spacecraft.
Captain, I would not recommend this course of action.
All right. I'm feeling generous. I'm transmitting the ID of a productive, law-abiding employee so you can see what one looks like before you die. Anyway, Tartarus Docking Authority signing up. Hang on. Another ship just pulled into your dock. Wait, is that from the Groundbreaker? What the? Pay no mind to that. Just have a pleasant day.
Transmission terminated. Biometric ID received. Transferring data to external cartridge. How can I be of assistance? May luck be...
Allez. On va libérer...
The captain did right by us once. Now it's ours. The board will never own Groundbreaker. Not while I breathe. Push on, Mardet.
Somebody clean up this mess.
Stay down, hullhead.
Groundbreaking. Open fire! Waste of company ammo. Saw something. I'm gonna take a look.
Unexpected noise identified. Processing data.
Hey, you! Are you new here? Oh, that's great. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. I'll get out of your way.
I'll keep quiet.
Nicely done.
Prison have for bars when it's got a storm like that guarding the gates.
Entering the labyrinth's the easy part. Making it back out. I'm still trusting your plan on that one, Captain.
Let's look around. There's gotta be a few ways through here.
All right, I'm going. That's not possible. Heading back.
Let's go, troops. Stellar Base counting on us.
Take him down!
Are you new here? Oh.
Well, look who it is. I'll be damned. I was prepping the studio for our announcement, and here you are as a bonus. I had heard you'd taken a mechanic under your wing. What's the matter, girl? Couldn't find actual employment?
The captain's treated me right. Better than any of you bored folk ever have. I'm exactly where I want to be.
And the convicts. The vicar. You know, most people, once they're out of prison, don't seem keen on returning.
Oh, I would go anywhere to see you fall, sir.
When you go off and get yourself shot, try to avoid taking one to the face. I'll want it recognizable to show to my citizens. My word! You've correctly identified the most recognizable man in the colony. Remarkable. It's a wonder what Phineas saw in you. Then again, he's an insane person. Thankfully, he's our insane person now. A proper company man. Yes, he is an extraordinarily obstinate fellow, isn't he? Fine, he isn't working for us per se. Semantics, he'll come around. But that's between us.
Oui.
As far as my adoring citizens will know, we've turned a dangerous crackpot into a working-class man. It's a miracle. Oh yes, go on, wake them up, add more mouths to feed. That'll solve our starvation problems. I don't know what half-baked plans that simpleton in a lab coat has been leading you through, but it's done. It's over. Let me ask you something, Captain. Have you at any point thought about not fucking up our entire society?
I believe we could ask you the same.
I'm making actual progress towards stabilization and recovery. You're just getting in the way. If I and my people can ride it out in luxury and happiness, yes, I would. I don't know if you've noticed, Captain, but Halcyon's pretty much a lost cause. I'll admit, there's no shortage of talent in the scientists and engineers there. Look, I'm not an unreasonable man. If you manage to storm the castle, as it were, and make it out of here with Phineas alive, I can't exactly afford more havoc than you've already caused. Fine. If you survive, you'll need someone to sell the rest of the board on your plan.
MSI. I'm not one for rousing speeches, but the captain needs our help. So get in there and fight!
Fugitive is a fugitive. Let it go. What? Huh,
Right.
Really doing this, huh?
Everything in my life has been leading up to this point. I am, I believe, ready for this.
Captain, you have an uncanny talent for complicating my life.
Ah ouais?
You've disrupted the balance of power. You've upset the natural order of things. You've introduced uncertainty, and there is nothing I despise more than uncertainty. Typical. Running your mouth in the middle of a crisis. It's almost as if you delight in chaos. I should have dealt with you a long time ago. You were always too dangerous to leave unchecked. Leaving you alive was my greatest mistake, but it is a mistake I intend to correct.
Mm-hmm.
I have Dr. Wells in my custody. Once I've secured his cooperation, I can move forward with the program. I can repair the damage you've done. I can set things right. Fair enough.
Oh putain. Intimidation 90, armure 60, arme de main 60.
This prison is equipped with an automechanical warden. I've had it programmed to eliminate you on sight. And don't worry. I will inform Dr. Wells that you died heroically.
Great work.
Here they come. May the law have mercy on you. I won't.
Why won't you just die? Everyone all right?
Get me out of here.
You don't know how glad I am to see you. You did the right thing.
Akande was a monster. Her death was much deserved, and long overdue. And you lunatic, you broke into the board's own fortress just to rescue one doddering old man. You are absolutely out of your mind, and I can't begin to thank you enough. I'm all right, thanks to you. Akande wanted my cooperation. I'm quite sure she would have beaten it out of me if you hadn't arrived. You've broken the board's stranglehold on this colony, and you saved my life. But there's still so much we have yet to accomplish. You and I are going to have to work harder than ever to save Halcyon. I'm afraid the situation is far worse than any of us ever anticipated. Earth has gone dark. We haven't received a single message in 3 years. There's been no communication, no signals, nothing. 2 years ago, the Earth's Directorate's frigate disappeared on their way back to Earth. We don't know what they discovered when they arrived, or if they arrived at all.
First the food supply, and now this. That's it. I'm done. There is no plan, just random chaos.
You're experiencing a crisis of faith, Preacher. Don't worry. That just means you're paying attention.
You mean we're all alone out here? Really alone?
I'm afraid so, Miss Holcomb. Halcyon is the only home we have left. Returning to Earth is no longer an option. We're in serious trouble, my friend. Do you know what this means for Halcyon? We can't rely on Earth for support anymore. We've been cut loose. We're entirely on our own. Yes, certainly. I'll help. I don't know what happened, but something must have gone horribly wrong. I don't know why Earth's gone silent. I don't even know if Earth exists anymore. We have no connection back to Earth, and return is likely impossible. We're... Yes, Akande mentioned as much. Earth hasn't sent us a single message in 3 years. No one knows why. Akande had kept the truth to herself, perhaps with good reason. Can you imagine what would have happened if word got out? We'd have utter pandemonium. I wasn't trying to hide the truth from you, but after all you've done, I owe you an explanation. Yes, I experimented on the Hope's colonists. Each of my experiments ended in catastrophic failure. Each of my subjects died in agony. You are my first and only success. I didn't tell you about the others because I didn't want to burden you. My failures are my own to bear, not yours. Thank you. Perhaps in time I'll learn to forgive myself. My apologies. I need to get a hold of myself. We've far more pressing issues to worry about right now. If you have any more questions, ask me. I'll answer as best I can. I heard it from Akande herself. She tried to pressure me into joining her side, you see. Tried to make me realize that all hope is lost, and that we are alone. She was half right. We are alone, and we're going to have to fend for ourselves, because there's no telling what's happened to Earth. Yes, we do. You've done a marvelous thing. You've succeeded where anyone else would have failed, including me. We must begin the revival process immediately, starting with the Hope's brightest minds, and then we're going to fix this damn colony, one problem at a time. We're going to need a leader, and I can't imagine a better person for the job than you. What do you say, old friend? Will you help us? The chairman?
I don't know why you let that heartless creature live, but I'll have to trust your judgment. You're the best thing to ever happen to Halcyon. If you want to take it upon yourself to lead this colony, you have my support. We're not a colony any longer, are we? Our last connection to Earth has been severed, and so we have been set free. Our future is uncertain, and no one knows what tomorrow holds. Exciting, isn't it?
The OSI teaches that everything in the universe happens according to the grand plan. But the stranger that arrived in Halcyon was an unplanned variable. From the moment he landed in Emerald Vale, his actions altered the course of history. The events on Tartarus brought about the end of the board's authority. But the board's mistakes would haunt the colony for decades to come. The damage they left behind would require the work of a generation to repair. Dr. Phineas Wells began reviving a handful of the Hope's colonists. Engineers, scientists, technicians, and intellectuals. They were among the brightest minds the Earth had ever sent out into the stars. The Hope scientists and engineers woke up in a colony descending headlong into total collapse. With no way to return to Earth, they had no choice but to band together and devote themselves to the cause of saving Halcyon. The people of Halcyon were nothing if not hardy. In the absence of the board's authority, many of the colony's settlements banded together with a single purpose in mind: survival. Life was especially hard in the years to come. Some towns dissolved by attrition and starvation, but most of them found a way to carry on. In the years to come, Halcyon was forced to reckon with its newfound freedom. The board was gone, and for better or worse, the colony was responsible for its own destiny. Between MSI's worker-centric policies and the iconoclast's manpower, Sanjar and Zora were able to rally many of the Terra 2 townships to their cause. MSI's workforce swelled, and the iconoclasts enjoyed a significant surge in their ranks. The board was too distracted by infighting and internal politics to stop MSI from becoming a powerful corporation and a refuge for townships that might have fallen through the cracks. Consumed by paranoia, Lilia Hagen took Sublight Salvage in a controversial direction, openly accusing board officials of an extraterrestrial conspiracy. One day, an accident at the Groundbreaker's docking bay silenced her forever. Time would tell if her replacement could keep the Sublight family together. The collapse of Edgewater left its workers bereft of any purpose in life. Most of them made their way to Adelaide McDevitt's camp, hoping to ingratiate themselves into her favor. Adelaide accepted only a few to her community. The rest were turned away and likely died of starvation. Nevertheless, Adelaide's camp grew into a well-established town. Adelaide McDevitt refused to cooperate with the ongoing effort to save Halcyon from collapse. A sympathetic deserter stole a copy of her research and delivered it to the Hope's scientists. It is unclear how useful Adelaide's research was. An optimistic estimate suggests her work may have bought Halcyon another few years of survival. Adelaide would never know. She died that winter. Under the leadership of Junlei Tennyson, the Groundbreaker held firm against corporate influence. The ship's mechanical stability gave Junlei the time to educate a promising generation of engineers schooled in her family's traditions. The future of the Groundbreaker looks promising. The rediscovery of the Hope and the abandonment of the lifetime employment program forced Byzantium to come to terms with some uncomfortable realities about the state of Halcyon. While Byzantines were reluctant to surrender the luxuries they'd grown accustomed to, the board's diminished authority gave them little choice in the matter. Nearly everyone had to learn to make do with less. Some even had to get jobs. It was a dark time indeed. Even the Gorgon asteroid, though a distant enigma to most of Halcyon, felt the aftershocks of your actions. The destroyed adrenatime synthesizer became a symbol of the board's cruelty and a rallying point for Wells and his scientists as they sought to build a more humane, ethical Halcyon. They cleared the dead from Gorgon's laboratories and repurposed them to aid in the crucial work of solving the colony's nutrition crisis. Gorgon, which had once sown death and destruction across Halcyon, became a source of hope and renewal. With nothing to show for her years of effort, Minnie Ambrose finally gave up on Project Gorgon. Though Gorgon was not the end of her aspirations, failure cast a long shadow that haunted her for years to come. She never forgot the intrepid freelancer who betrayed her and offered many a bitter toast in his name. The Gorgon Project's final explosive end was bittersweet for Olivia Ambrose. She wandered the colony's fringes alone, searching for others like her who despised the board and meant to destroy them. In time, she found Phineas Wells and his cadre of scientists, and she joined them in their efforts to save Halcyon. For a while, she even knew an uneasy peace. But for all that, Olivia found purpose in Wells' project. She was always haunted by the knowledge that Minnie, the bright daughter she'd so grievously wronged, refused to work beside her. She never did forgive herself for the horror her work had wrought on Halcyon, but she remembered fondly the daring captain who'd let her daughter live. In spite of everything, the Gorgon asteroid remained a sobering reminder of the potential for progress and disaster in humanity's most ambitious efforts. The Rizzo's company in Halcyon dissolved after the collapse of the board. Needless to say, the launch of Spectrum Brown was indefinitely delayed. A stockpile of Spectrum Brown remains buried deep beneath the ruins of the old distillery, abandoned to time and attrition. Ruth Bellamy never forgot the words you said to her. She coped with Belinda's death by committing to live in a way that would make her sister proud. When the remnants of the colony banded together, Ruth Bellamy was there to help. She devoted her remaining years and resources to saving the colony. Years later, when the worst of the crisis had passed, Aetherwaves returned to Halcyon's culture. An aging Ruth Bellamy tried her hand at directing. Her first Aetherwave drama was dedicated to the memory of Belinda Bellamy and to her old friend, Captain of the Unreliable. The dissolution of the board did not mean the dissolution of the ambitions of Cedric Kincannon, the charismatic leader of Sublight Underground. Cedric offered Slug's transportation services to the newly thawed colonists and set to work ferrying resources and food wherever they were most needed. For better or worse, slug headgear became fashionable in the following years. As the board began to disintegrate, Spencer Woolrich found himself at a crossroads. Cling to what little stardom remained to him, or help usher Halcyon into its new future. To the surprise of many, perhaps himself most of all, Spencer chose the latter option. Having learned a variety of different skills in the many different roles played throughout his lengthy career, Spencer founded a radio serial dedicated to staying alive despite the odds. His subjects included how to survive violent encounters with only grazing wounds, dispense pithy one-liners for tense scenarios, and, of course, how to look good doing both. After a brief attempt at dating Helen as one person rather than two, which both Bertie and Helen found too strange, Bertie struck out on his own to try his hand at raising woolly cows. Many of his former Rangers teammates soon followed, accompanied by the woolly cow the team had originally plied with alcohol. The dairy farm thrived under Bertie's leadership and care. The Dairy Rangers privately believed that the woolly cow softened Bertie's temper considerably, although the only one brave enough to say this to his face was promptly headbutted. Due to the board's dissolution, many of the Prophet's old customers no longer found quite the same value in productivity seminars that they once had. With her business drying up, the Prophet chose to take her followers down a new path. Months later, salvagers on Eridanos found clues leading them to a seemingly abandoned bunker out in the wilderness. Inside, they discovered horribly mangled corpses, sacrificed to a blood-scrawled portrait of a sprat-headed deity. The Prophet was not among the bodies. Your influence shifted Ellie's perspective. She finally admitted, albeit grudgingly, that she just might need other people. Sometimes. With a steady income from the life insurance payouts, she was finally able to afford a ship of her own. She hired a small crew and flew supply missions to communities on the fringe. Some of them were even legal. Life in Halcyon was sobering for Felix Millstone. The grand revolution he dreamed of never came. There was no great awakening for the colony, no celebrations in the streets. There was only the hard, desperate work of trying to repair a broken colony. Felix never had a head for numbers, but if there was labor to be done, he was there to help. Eventually, Felix realized that the work of a revolution was done with two hands. After all he'd seen and heard adventuring with you, the vicar Maximilian de Soto renounced his faith and joined the effort to rebuild the colony. Ironically, he finally found the joy that had eluded him over the course of his life, and realized that perhaps he was always meant to be just a simple laborer after all. He quickly dismissed the idea. Though Parvati eventually grew comfortable aboard the Unreliable, she never quite came out of her shell. She seemed to prefer the company of Ada to the crew, and she could often be found neck-deep in cables and grease, telling Ada funny stories from her childhood. While the colony fell into chaos, she found an island of relative peace with Ada, and they formed an unusual bond. She decided to remain aboard the Unreliable permanently as its chief and sole engineer. Nyoka returned to Monarch to take another crack at making a permanent life for herself. She formed the Charon Group, a mercenary outfit of ragtag survivalists and wilderness experts. Anyone in need of a guide or just looking to throw back a beer and swap stories could find her camping on the trail or clearing an infestation. The SAM unit that accompanied you spread awareness of the product line's superior sanitation and maintenance capabilities across what was left of the colony. This led to a boost in SAM unit sales. Did you know that SAM units are the longest-lasting, toughest-acting cleaning solution in Halcyon? Minister Clark was released from house arrest, and his contact with you gave him a sense of renewed purpose and vigor. Once it became clear that no help would be coming from Earth, he threw his considerable efforts and talents into helping Halcyon manage the crisis before it. As for Dr. Phineas Wells, he spent his remaining years in his orbital lab. He eventually came to terms with his own past and was able to forgive the mistakes of his younger self by devoting his remaining years to serving the colony. In the end, Dr. Wells was able to save every scientist and engineer aboard the Hope. Over the next decade, nearly all of the Hope's remaining colonists were successfully revived. Halcyon saw a period of rapid technological and scientific advancement. Breakthroughs in dietary supplements saved the colony from starvation. Geoengineering projects and social reforms began to change the structure and character of the colony. Dr. Wells laid the groundwork for the project to save the colony, but he would never live to see the fruits of his labor. He passed away a few years later. His work was carried on by the scientists and engineers he revived. Today, Halcyon has stabilized. The people of the colony work hard to adapt to their new circumstances. Nearby colonies send aid and supplies. Life will never be easy in Halcyon, but for the first time in its history, there exists a sense of real, genuine hope about the future. And what about you, the unplanned variable in the history of Halcyon? You brought an end to the riot on Tartarus and partnered with Chairman Rockwell to run the colony together. As Halcyon looked toward the future, you remained a constant presence in the colony's administration. You were never weighed down by bureaucracy, and you never had to dirty your hands with politics. You had people who did that for you. By your influence, Halcyon survived the turbulent years that were to follow. No one knows what's happened to Earth, and no one knows what the future has in store for Halcyon. All we know for certain is this: the name of the Unreliable and that of its intrepid captain will remain the subject of countless stories for years to come.
Et bah c'était... Attendez, on va faire un truc. Voilà, comme ça. Et bah... J'avais déjà fait les jeux une première fois, évidemment. Et avec l'ajout en fait des DLC, ça ajoute quelques petits trucs à la fin, c'est intéressant. L'ajout de certains personnages, que ça, dans le lore, c'est quand même énorme. Je ne sais pas s'il n'y a pas un... S'il n'y a pas un 2 qui est en cours. Je vais regarder rapidement. Parce qu'ils peuvent très bien... Ils peuvent très bien le faire s'ils le veulent. Ah, 24 juin 2023. Il y a un 2 qui est sorti. Voilà, là, les enfants liés pendant le développement. Marcus, Declan, Joaquin, Wesley, Patrick, Mila. Alors, on va se mettre ici. Et on va regarder un truc ensemble. Je vais le mettre là. Voilà. Hop. Et normalement...
We begin by hearing an old, wise-sounding voice. And we see a quiet, peaceful setting. This will make our game seem big and important. Now, something must break the serenity. Will this creature be in the game? No. Say goodbye to it forever. Suddenly, and for no reason, people running. These pointless slow-motion shots make everything seem cool and should bolster pre-sale numbers. That wah sound can mean only one thing. We must gaze over an epic shot of a world, and there should be lens flares. Now we see our hero, but only their silhouette, because the developers haven't finished the design, or finished the story, or finished any gameplay that's actually ready to show. In fact, the only thing they have finished is the title.
En soi, je vais vous dire pourquoi pas, hein. Hop là, on va se mettre là, là. Nickel. Pourquoi pas en vrai, hein. Ça peut être pas mal. Mais on a une date de sortie. Il y a une information récente dessus ou pas? Je vais vérifier ça. Actualité peut-être. Ouais, mais vu qu'il y a Everwhite qui va sortir, qui est sorti, je sais plus. Ça reste de le retarder un peu, The Outer World 2. Donc à voir. Éventuellement prochaine fois. Prochainement. Prochaine fois. N'importe quoi. Mais ouais, ouais, il y a le, il y a le 2 qui est bien, qui devrait sortir soon, soon, soon. Euh, à voir où ils en sont, parce qu'apparemment il devait sortir l'année dernière, et il n'est pas sorti l'année dernière apparemment. Donc à voir. Bah, le 2 quand il sortira, on le fera, hein. On le fera peut-être pas à la sortie, mais on verra. Ça, on verra à la rigueur. Que déjà aussi, quel sera mon rythme de stream aussi. Ça changera beaucoup de choses, ça, hein. Mais là, ouais, il est quelle heure? 15h30. Un peu moins, un peu moins, un peu moins. J'aurai l'heure là, mais 15h22. Ouais, on va partir sur du Palworld. Il faut que je récupère le jeu. Alors, un instant. Le jeu se lance et après, ce sera bon. Ah putain, oui, il est en 1080p. Forcément. Forcément, il est en 1080p parce que je l'ai mis comme ça hier pour pouvoir jouer en attendant. Et voilà. Et par-dessus, on finit tranquillement. Dessus, on va finir, on va jouer une demi-heure à peu près, un peu moins. J'ai quoi hier déjà? Ah tiens. Putain, ils sont pas en mode automatique, faut que c'est moi qui active le mode combat là. Ok, nickel. Oh, ils ont tous faim là, mais elle est bouffée. Je vais les prendre comme ça pour le moment. Oh putain, c'est des balles de pistolet que j'ai fait. Ah, j'ai plus de balles. faut que je le fasse, faut que je le fasse. J'ai appuyé sur quoi là? J'ai pris quoi? J'ai pris du bois, j'ai pris du fer. Oui, là-bas là. Il faut aller au sud à peu près. Hmm. Eh ben nickel. Nickel, on va aller là-bas. Ça manque d'une musique quand même. Hein. Vas-y, je peux pas trouver une musique là. Faut que je trouve. Je vais chercher sur YouTube. Je mets ça. con aussi, hein. Faut se laisser capturer au bout d'un moment, hein. Elle. Chez lui, là, c'est clairement mon tank. Il a 88 PV, quoi. C'est... Merde, je suis arrivé trop tard. Avec le stream, je suis obligé de baisser un peu les graphiques là. C'est quoi ça là-bas? Niveau 30. On va le faire après. Allez, vas-y. Oh, les musiques, qui me saoulent. On va aller, du coup, faire... Ça me fait penser. Ouais, c'est qui s'est mis en place là. Petite musique là. Ah, je me suis pris un petit caillou quoi. Et le jeu il est vide hein, sans musique quand même, hein. Hmm. Quoi? Ah, ça me saoule, putain. Ça me crève aussi.
Ouah. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
On va arrêter là le massacre, hein. J'ai récupéré les affaires, on va s'arrêter là pour aujourd'hui du coup. Allez, grouillez-vous là. Je vous souhaite une bonne fin de journée, un bon début de soirée. On se retrouve à 22 h pour le stream. Ouais, du coup on se retrouve à 22 h pour le stream sur GKRP. Je vous dis à ce soir. Bisous bisous, prenez soin de vous. Allez, salut à ce soir.